So I decided to get on today. Just something I wanted to talk about. It was on my mind, y'all. So I want to talk about what three body weight stages taught me about society, and it has changed my life forever. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna make me some tea here, and then I want to talk about this because some of y'all may have been at the same body weight your entire life, so you may not know what I'm about to say. And some of y'all may have only had two types of body weight stages in your life, chapters. So you still may not know what I'm about to say. And after experiencing the three stages, body weight stages, through the three chapters of my life, I realized something about society, and it's just the truth, and there's like no way you can get around it, okay? And some of y'all are not going to believe me until you actually be in all three stages, body weight stages. So we're going to wait till we get a few more people in here to talk about this. Okay, I can't tell how many people are in here, but we'll wait. Wait till we get people in here. Hey, y'all. If there's people in here listening, please let me know. I can't tell y'all. I told y'all I've been doing faceless videos for a while, especially with this video topic. So here's what I learned with three body weight stages. The body weight stages is skinny, really skinny, okay, medium weight, and then overweight. Obviously overweight, okay, but the medium weight to almost skinny being athletic built, okay. What I found out about society is that when it comes to making friends, even making good friends, even trying to find a partner, most people have very high standards of what they expect your body to be like. And most people gravitate more to people who look athletic, who look like they work out. Meaning they may be medium built, but they look like they got muscle on them. There's people who's going to say that's not true, but if you notice, the people who look like that, they tend to be the popular one. They tend to get better service when they go to restaurants. People smile at them more. People start to think that they have some special power. And they actually get more respect. They don't have to worry about a lot of disrespect because people can see the strength in their body. Okay? But when you are really skinny, people are like, okay, plenty of young people are skinny. I was skinny before. They might have fasted to get skinny. They might have, cut calories to get skinny. And people see skinny as still as something easy to do because all you got to do is fast and stop and cut back eating. They don't really see that as like a superpower or a super skill. Now, when you're obese, people are like, well, people think that you just don't care about yourself, that you don't have no self-discipline. So they start to question your personality traits. So they start to say, well, you probably got personality issues as well. Now, when you're real skinny, as I was saying before, when you're real skinny, people start to maybe think that maybe you smoke a lot of weed, do a lot of drugs. So it's kind of like the real skinny and the obese, you actually get more unheard negative criticism from people when they look at you or around you. But when you look athletic, like you work out, You look like you're in more control of yourself. And like you're a person who's determined and about business. So it's hard for someone to think negative about you without ever knowing you. And this is a real talk. And there is going to be people who are not going to agree with this. But unless you've been in all three stages and you actually paid attention, you will see what I'm saying. Now, people love to say, well, there's people who love big people and people who love really skinny people. But I can tell you right now, the majority of people will gravitate towards the one who is athletically built. And that's just it. Okay, not necessarily having to have a six pack, but look like they're sculptured. Like they have more muscle than fat. Where they don't look flat. Okay? There's skinny people that still look flat, that still look hollow. And they wonder why people are not interested in them. Because being skinny is not enough for the majority of the society to think you're hot. To think you're super hot. If you're skinny and you still look hollow and you're not really, looking sculptured, and you're just like a bone person, you don't really look sculptured, then people don't consider you to be an amazing to look at. They still kind of consider you semi-average. It doesn't matter how good you look in the face. It doesn't matter your face card, hair card. People will still consider your body to be semi-average. We have a large trend of people who are in the gym now. So being skinny is not just being skinny. It's not the ultimate glow up anymore. So what I'm saying is there's no point of being bone skinny if you don't have no strength. And there's no point of being obese at all. Okay? There's really no point for it at all. See what I'm saying? When people see you look like you got strength, people are less likely to try you in person. They may talk behind your back to hate on you out of jealousy, but they're less likely to try you. And I learned that like when I was like going real hard in the gym 2 years ago, I had people even on TikTok was like, damn, it's starting to show that you're going to the gym. It's obvious. When I was really working out a lot, I even noticed that people who were athletic were talking to me, even in the gym. Really ripped athletic dudes were trying to start up conversations with me. I noticed that there was women who were skinny that was trying to like copy my routine. I noticed that the quality of men who were trying to talk to me, the quality was higher. It was like big successful men trying to talk to me. But when I was just skinny, even back in my 20s, that never happened. Even though I kept my hair done, even though I was younger, I never had like men that owned big businesses and things like that, emperors and stuff. I never had them coming towards me, kissing my hand like I'm a queen and princess. I never had that happen. It was a lot of young dudes trying to talk to me because they're like skinny is enough. But when I started working out and starting to look sculptured in my 30s, that's when the high-ranking men started to try to talk to me. It's even happening with my daughter. My daughter goes to the gym several days a week and has been for the past year. And she said now it's all these like very successful older men or very successful men trying to talk to her, even on her job. And she said that wasn't happening before. So this is what I'm saying. Okay, my daughter was just skinny and wasn't no men falling over their feet to get to her. But when she started working out in the gym, now they're falling over their feet to get to her. I know women don't want to hear this because there's this whole fasting just get skinny. But I agree with Cole Robinson when he said get ripped. There's ripped and then there's just skinny. I agree with Cole Robinson when he say women do need to do some weightlifting and get strong. Look strong. When you look strong, people want to know you. You're not going to automatically look strong all because you're skinny. So my thing is this, especially if you are trying to get opportunities and you're trying to get opportunities that require public appearance, even if you're trying to get a YouTube channel to go viral, it's like you gotta work out. And I'm not talking about just like walking and cardio. You'll notice that your manifesting powers increase when you are athletic. When we think about the apex animals in the wild, a lot of them are athletic. When we think about the anaconda, that anaconda is solid. That's a solid snake. That's a snake with straight strength. See what I'm saying? When we think of the lions, they're muscular. When you are looking like an apex, people think you're special. People think you have a sort of discipline that they wish they would have, and they want to know you. Also, you'll find that it's easier to get a job. You'll find that people with the opportunities want to talk to you. And you'll notice also that a lot of your health problems are going away. Skin problems are going away, hair problems, because when you're working out, like doing HIIT and lifting weights, your body is like heavily detoxing. You're sweating. You're sweating, so all the toxins is coming out your body. So you actually start to look younger. When you lift weights, you actually reverse aging. When you do HIIT, you reverse aging. So not only do you get athletically built, but you look younger. See what I'm saying? So you can get both. You can get both you could get two things, two benefits out of actually physically working out to get strong. I know that people are just like, oh, I'm just only going to do walking and cardio. I'm telling you, like, you're going to notice, unless you have a whole lot of muscle already underneath that fat, you're going to notice that you're shallow. You may be skinny, but that's all you are. You're shallow. So there's no point. There's no point in even like, I'm just trying to get skinny. I personally feel like eating at least 200 over your maintenance and then working out would get you lean and ripped, because that's how I was doing it. I was, when I was 170 pounds, I had a washboard stomach, and the only reason why I did is because I was eating 1,700 calories, but I was burning off like 200, but I was putting on muscle. I was still putting on muscle, so my body was still weighing 170 pounds, even though I wasn't putting on any fat. If you want to get like lean athletic, it does require you to eat above your maintenance so that you can get that extra protein in, extra energy, extra workout, and burn some of that calorie, them extra 200, 300 calories, and then you'll actually be like lean ripped. I know people wonder like, why do Miss V think she qualified? I was actually a cross country runner. I played soccer. I was heavily into sports for years. I was a long distance hiker 3 days a week. I had a whole group of family members and friends where we would hike literally from one end to the forest to the other and back with nothing in our stomach. Nothing in our stomach. It was like miles and miles of hiking with nothing in our stomach. We might have just drank water along the way with no food. But if I showed y'all pictures, you would be like, all of y'all look so super fit, like kind of athletic. But another thing we were doing is we were walking heels. We were walking heels and we were carrying heavy book bags as well. So that was adding, like we were going to the gym still. So what I'm saying is, and then I remember this was in my 30s. I remember I was getting like offered modeling contracts and a lot of attention. So I don't want to be skinny. I want to be fit, ripped. I would rather be a 60-year-old woman with a lot of muscle left. See, the thing is you can get skinny all you want, but if you're not getting skinny with muscle, then you're going to look pretty dried up and old when you get in your 60s. You're going to look like a dried up, skinny old person. And you don't want to look like that. You want to look like Sylvester Stallone. Not all that ripped, but at least you got a decent amount of muscle where your body doesn't look old. This is why I am not complaining about gaining weight. When I saw that my body was trying to bulk, I realized that it did not like being plain old skinny without muscle. Not everybody's body likes that. It might look all nice, everybody walking around skinny and hollow, whatever, without muscle, just like Jack the Pumpkin King type of body build. But your genetics and your body type might not be about that. Some body types want athletic build, and it will make you eat to remind you that it do. What I learned is do not force your body to be skinny. If you say, I can't stop eating extra food, 9 times out of 10, your body is telling you it wants to be athletic. And that's just it. Hi, everybody. You want to be skinny ripped. Because, I'm just saying, beautiful, brilliant women, even me, if you put a skinny dude in a room with me and a skinny ripped dude in a room with me, I'm going to think the skinny ripped dude looks better. I'm just saying. I'm going to find his body better looking. So it's for example, Dr. Eric Berg is skinny, but do Dr. Eric Berg look good to me? No, he doesn't. Okay, he looks average. The reason why he doesn't look good is because Dr. Eric Berg looks like he don't got a single muscle on his body. He looks like just a bone man standing there talking. And I'm just saying, it's just the truth. Okay? My first boyfriend I ever fell in love with, he was a wrestler and he was skinny ripped, and he could get plenty of women. He was very popular. A lot of women thought he was fine. And even over the years he stayed skinny ripped, and he still gets practically almost any woman that he wants because he's skinny and ripped. Okay? I have a friend who's older, and they started to get overweight, chubby, and they started not getting no attention from women. Okay, this is what he said. But as soon as he started getting ripped, he said women started like knocking on his door, like his neighbors started to want him. So now he has learned how critical society is about your body. Yeah, your body type tells you actually how much you probably should be eating, an eating range for you, and according to your height as well. Your body type tells you what type of exercises is best for you, but also what it wants to look like. I know that's wild. Like if you have endomorph, mesomorph body type like me, your body does not want to be skinny. It was only skinny in its young years in your young years because of all the endless walking we was doing in the 90s. Okay? Because of going long periods of time without food and just running on candy. But the body did not want that. And I know for a fact my body didn't, because I ended up having gallbladder and liver problems from running on sugar in the 90s. Okay, running on sugar. Even though I was skinny, I was unwell. See what I'm saying? But guess what? I put on weight and bulked up, but my blood work is fine. I went to the doctors a week ago. My blood work is excellent. Why? Because my body wants a high protein diet. My body wants to be muscular. Whenever I cheated of muscle, I start to have concerning blood work. Somebody say I'm like grandma. Yeah, okay. So the thing is, you have to find out your body type, and you literally have to do the exercises for it. If you try to do exercises that's not your body type, you may generate some health problems. Like that's what I did. When I was doing so much cardio, and I wasn't weight training like an endomorph body type wants to, I started having muscle problems. My estrogen started to like stay crashed. I started getting like weak. I just felt sluggish and fatigued all the time. Whereas some people, they could do endless amount of cardio and they don't feel that way because they are a ectomorph body type. There's a guy that's on my YouTube channel. He's an ectomorph, and he does endless amount of cardio and he feels great. He doesn't really weight train that much. He weight trains a little bit, like ectomorphs do. But when I was trying to be an ectomorph and I was like cardio, and just doing a little bit of weight training, it didn't look right. My body frame did not look good. It actually took away my attraction. Like, I'm meant to have large breasts. A lot of endomorph people can get peacock chests. I have a friend who's endomorph, mesomorph, and he can get a big peacock chest real quick from lifting weights. For me, when my breast goes really down from endless cardio and trying to do ectomorph workouts, my body looks unbalanced. It looks very weird because then I look like I got a little bit of a wide frame, but two little knots sitting on it. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look that good. Yeah, that means if you eat too much, if your body keeps saying 400 calories over, 400 calories over, that means you actually probably are like two body types. You probably need a cardio routine and a weightlifting routine like I do. My body refuses to let me eat less than 1,800 calories without forcing it. It doesn't matter if I decrease the fat. It doesn't matter. This body's like, nah. So I've learned that I gotta walk at least 3 miles a day, and I gotta work out at least 20 minutes several days a week. Otherwise, I gain fat as an endomorph, and I don't gain the muscle that it wants to gain. Yeah, endomorph people, we do have big appetites. It's like that they're constantly hungry. It's like this hunger won't go away. But the hunger goes away when you work out more. I know that's crazy because you would say, no, that would make me hungry. It actually doesn't. With endomorph, it actually calms your hunger. With ectomorphs, it will make them hungrier. So, for example, I have a friend who's endomorph, mesomorph, and when all he does is cardio all day, he's like, I'm starving. He's extremely hungry. But as soon as he does like weightlifting, he goes to the gym that day for an hour, and he also like maybe does 2-3 mile walk cardio. He's like, I'm able to go most of my day without food. So he's figured it out that he was doing too much cardio as an endomorph. He was literally riding on his bike like 3-4 hours a day. And so he was like endlessly hungry, extreme hunger. Um, when you're not putting on muscle, you're endomorph. You're maintaining fat. Your body will start to store fat. Okay, it sees cardio, like it sees a lot of cardio as a threat. Like, oh, time to store fat. um, so by you storing fat like that, your cortisol is still staying high. So you start to have cravings. But believe it or not, doing HIIT and lifting weights dumps cortisol. It speeds up your metabolism so that you will burn calories a little faster, but you also will dump cortisol. It's like a double tap. So you're speeding up metabolism, but also you're dumping cortisol. The HIIT is very powerful for endomorph people because we could put on muscle pretty fast. So if you're doing HIIT, it's like a game changer. Okay? So if you're doing like 5-minute, 30-second HIIT sprints for 5 minutes with like a brief break in between each 30-second sprint, and you do that every day, I'm telling you, if you do that every day for 30 days, or you do that just 4 days a week, twice a day, and you're endomorph, you're going to notice that your body's getting solid pretty quick. Because that's how I do it. When I want to get in shape really quick, it's like HIIT. That's my go-to thing. I would be like, oh, time to do HIIT. And add some weights in, a little bit of weights in as I do it sometime. Time to do HIIT. And then like within 60 days, I'll notice that I didn't burn more calories because of my metabolism speeding up. But my human growth hormone has spiked so high, me being endomorph, it's like I just got solid really quick. I had to stop taking Macaroot because I was taking Macaroot while doing HIIT, and I was literally getting solid really fast. My only problem is that I forgot to do a lot of arm workout HIIT. I was doing a lot of my legs. I was forgetting to use my arms, and what happened was my legs got nice and solid, but my arms didn't get all the way solid. But as I said, but they did on just one side, and I wasn't even lifting heavy weights like that. But yet, if you look on the left side of my arm, it looks like I was. But that's how endomorph and mesomorph body types can be. Like my daughter goes to the gym 2 days a week. She is more of a mesomorph with endomorph at the top of her body. So she figured it out. She started going to the gym to lift some weights, and now her arms are like cut. And she only went like a couple months, maybe just like 2-3 days, and her arms are really in shape. But she's mesomorph more on the bottom, and she's endomorph at the top like me. So I'm mesomorph literally from, I'm endomorph from like my hips, from my pelvic up. From the middle of my thighs, it's very weird. From the middle of my thighs, I'm endomorph. And from the other half of my thighs, it's mesomorph. Which is why my calves don't get really big. They get a medium, but they don't get really big fast. And yeah, so I literally do, when I go to the gym, I do some calf machines for my calves just to get them a little bigger, because I know they're kind of medium, always medium small. Not skinny like ectomorph, but medium small. Yeah. With an endomorph, the best diet for us is like fish. If you're someone hungry all the time, like endomorphs, we're just constantly hungry. I know people say, well, ectomorphs eat a lot of food. No, they don't eat a lot of food. They actually eat a lot through their day. They eat through their day, but they're not eating a lot of food. They're not hungrier than us. Okay, they're not hungrier than us because their body's not trying to put on muscle. It's not built to be a bodybuilder. Okay, when you look at the Rock eats what 50 pancakes because that's how hungry his body is. Okay? So what I find is that when you're endomorph, you're tempted to like carb it up. You burn through your energy faster. Actually, when you're endomorph, you burn energy fast. It's like, like a diesel truck. Your body can overheat really fast, so you need a high energy diet. So what I've been doing, and I've been noticing my body recomp is starting to look good and starting to like my stomach is going flatter, but it's firming up as it's flatting. What I've been doing is like high energy. Like I wake up and it's like 3 eggs and some cheese, and that's what I do. And then I have like 2 cups of vegetable fruit juice. It's really that serious with an endomorph body type. So I bought me V8 vegetable fruit juice so I could just hurry up and have it to get that energy. And I'll put orange juice in there too. And that'll give me the energy, that energy that my endomorph body need. And then I'll slam down 3 eggs and some cheese. And it's like energy then. I try to keep my fat intake low. My body is an endomorph. Like 90% of my body is endomorph, so I can gain really, really fast. So I still have to make sure I get my cardio in. So I like to burn at least 150 calories a day, just from cardio. And then if I work out like 20 minutes, that's like another 50 calories burned. So that's 200 calories I burn. So that means if I eat 1,800 calories a day and I burn 200 calories, that means my body has 1,600 calories and I'm 5'8". So 1,600 calories while working out and training as an endomorph will literally get me ripped. Okay? I'll be literally athletic built. So now if I eat 2,000 calories, what's going to have to happen for me is I'm going to have to up the cardio. Now, of course, that would allow me to have extra protein. Now, that might look glamorous, but understand that when you get too much protein in your body, it's no different than eating sugar at that point. So there's no point of eating extra protein, hitting that 2,000 calories, unless I'm going to straight do some hardcore cardio. Okay? But I'm not interested in walking my butt off 6 miles a day. I'm just not interested in that. Okay? If you like to walk 6-7 miles a day and you're endomorph, go right ahead. Or you can do 3 days a week, 6 miles a day for those 3 days. And that will knock down that extra calories that put you at 2,000 a day. You'll end up getting rid of some of those calories. So most likely your final weight would be 1,800. You'd weigh 180 pounds, but you still would be ripped. You would just be thicker ripped. Okay, I want to be medium ripped. I don't want to be super thick ripped. Super thick ripped. I don't want to be that. That would be like a size 15 in the thighs and the booty, and I would end up being in a triple D F bra size. I don't want to be a bra. I don't want to be a F. I don't want to be a F bra. I'm not interested in that. So I would rather stick. I'd rather be in D bra size and below. Triple D's or below. So that would mean I can't go over 170 pounds. Okay. So I'm explaining it. I'm breaking it down using me, using me for that. Whenever I go over 180 pounds, I notice I don't even get hellos or goodbye from people. It's almost like this world is set up where it's like you either look like you're really fit or it's optional to speak to you. People are that much worried about their image and reputation out here. Um, so I want to protect myself from disrespect. It's not that I'm trying to appease society, but I don't want doors slammed in my face. I don't want to sit an hour to wait for my food when I go places. I don't want people beeping at horns when I cross the street and I got the light. People making me rush across the street. It gets to be, there is heavyweight discrimination. People don't know that it's just as bad as racial discrimination out here. And it can easily be denied. Okay? People can easily deny that that's why they're treating you that way, treating you wrong. You don't even notice that family members treat you like you're average. When we take care of ourselves, it's not just because we want to love ourselves, it's to protect ourselves from the devil. Hi, everybody. What I found about cravings, when you are craving, you're probably carb and fat sensitive. I know that's crazy to be both, but I am. If I eat 35 grams of fat a day, it's all downhill for me. If I swear to goodness, that's it. Like, it's all downhill. I'm gonna be like craving, fatigue. If I have more than 30 grams of sugar, I'm craving and craving and craving. If I have more than 30 grams of carbs, it's instant craving. Yet my daughter, she mesomorph, and she got more mesomorph in her body type. She can straight carb load in the morning and be good. She can sit up there and eat a whole muffin in the morning, one of those big jumbo muffins, and be energized. I told her if I eat one of those, I'm going to bed. Like, I'm not getting no energy from that. So, I try to keep my carbs and my fat low and just keep my protein and my juice high. I find that if you're an endomorph body type, you gotta like your best life is juice. Like that's the thing. You need to like juice it up. So your grocery list is you should have almost the same amount of, or even more, of fruit in your cart as your meat. Like the fruit and the energy vegetables, like spinach, you gotta like literally stock up on it. You might as well stop glamorizing carbs, because with endomorph, it's like the more carbs you eat, the more it's going to want. It's like you can't stop craving carbs once you go down that road, and it starts to affect your liver. My daughter don't have liver problems, and she be slamming down carb loading in the morning. But I tried the carb loading diet like her, and my blood work showed my liver couldn't handle that because the weight. The weight of my breast alone is like 10 pounds of breast. So my endomorph body weight cannot, it's already putting weight on my liver. So my liver could not handle the demands of those carbs. So I find it like with mesomorph people, carb loading, that works for them because they constantly walking around cardio all day. Mesomorph and ectomorph people cannot keep still half the time. So carbs work for them. but not for like a diesel truck. And it's the quality of the food for a diesel truck. So we actually need better quality food as well. Okay, our gut is sensitive, so we actually should try to eat like organic, all natural, wild caught type of food. We got 6 people listening. This is something that I learned. Okay, when I wake up, 2 hours after I woke. Now, what I do is I drink tea for the first 2 hours and decaf coffee. That's what I drink. Once I feel like my energy is up, and then I go and I have energy food. Oh, I have energy food. So I have vegetable fruit juice, eggs and cheese, and I may have a can of tuna. And then that'll like power me up. Whereas my daughter, being a mesomorph, ectomorph, she can, like I said, she can literally just eat a potato in the morning and she's straight. She can just fire on carbs only and she's good. So this is why I find that if you're endomorph, you have to have a customized diet, especially if you're 2 body types. Your diet's going to be a little tricky. Your body's going to want beef and it's going to want fish, and it's going to be like a war going on. You're going to find, if you're a meat eater, you're endomorph, mesomorph, that there's days you want beef, days you want fish. But if you're mesomorph, you'll find that you're cool with like one type of diet. Like all the mesomorph girls I know, they like, oh, all I eat is fish and plant-based. That's it. And then the other ones be like, yeah, all I eat is steak. They go all day running on carbs, and then at dinner they have steak. Marilyn Monroe was more of a mesomorph body type. Okay, meso and a little bit of ecto. That's why her waist was able to get so tiny. But she would have a little bit of protein in the morning. But she was carb loading all day. She was eating carrots all day long. That's carb loading. So she was just using carrots to be her energy all through her day. And sometimes she would have a salad or some juice. So basically most of it was this carb energy all day long. And then her actual meal was at night, which was steak. Me, if I went to eat a T-bone steak, whatever, like Marilyn Monroe, I would be sleepy. I'd be ready to go to bed. I'm not partying. I'm not none of that. But the mesomorph people seem to be able to handle that fat intake and not get so fatigued. Yeah. If your body craves a lot of food, like you be like, I want more food, let my plate bigger, but you're better off doing HIIT, I'm telling you no lie, and bust out the weights. And walk at least 2-3 miles a day. That's how I did it. When I was a solid 160 3 years ago, okay, to the point where when I went to my mother's funeral, people were like, damn, your body's bad as hell. Like, I had women, even gay women, were like, damn, you got a body on you. When I would go out to karaoke, like, damn, she fine as hell. The DJ would be saying that when I wore my fitted skirts. But that's what I was doing. And I was thick. I was wearing a size 10 shorts, but my waist was small. Okay? I was like Serena Williams type of build, like, and I was literally walking 3 miles a day at the most, 2 at the minimum, and I was going to the gym 3-4 days a week, and I was doing HIIT at least 3 days a week, and it was to the point where I had to wear a belt with my shorts because the shorts was 10 and the booty and the thighs at the top, you know, but my waist was like small. So I had to wear a belt. And at one point, when I went into this restaurant with a friend of mine, this white girl was standing there with her boyfriend, and she was like, how you get a body like that? How do I get a body like that? She literally asked me this. And then we went to this store, Sam's Club, and these two white girls that was checking us out was like, damn girl, like how do I get a body like that? And I was telling them like, hit and weight train. Like stop doing all that cardio. All cardio's going to do is get you to be calm and lower cortisol. It's not really getting your body in shape like you want it in. Okay, cardio is just look at cardio like I'm just burning some calories and lowering cortisol. That's all. That's all. Like this walking is for meditation. I'm not even trying to use this to look good. Cardio don't make you look good. Cardio only make you look good if you sprint during the cardio. That's it. When I had a six-pack in my early 20s, I was sprinting cardio all the way to work. On and off, all the way to work for 2 miles and home on the way back home every single day. If you're not sprinting, going as fast as you can sometimes in your cardio, it's not that beneficial. All it is beneficial to cortisol. That's it. It's a huge waste of your time to be walking 4, 5, 6 miles as an endomorph. No. Okay, let your body have muscle. It wants muscle, and it's hard to put on muscle when you're burning too many calories from endless cardio. I was doing that and keeping my calories low, and my body went shallow. And when I finally stopped, my body was like real hungry. I couldn't stop eating, and it made me eat until I hit 190. And then all the extra eating and craving started to back off, and that's when I knew that my body just did not like to burn calories, endless calories through cardio, and just get lean with no muscle. It doesn't like low muscle. So I'm not doing that no more. If I be a 100, because it's going to be in about 2-3 months, I'm going to be at my goal. Come January going to be a wonderful new year for me, because I'm going to be super fit. Because I'm doing what I did before. We'll work before, we'll keep working. Hit, weight training, walk no more than 3 miles a day. That way I don't get flabby. I don't burn too many calories. And I will never eat at my calorie maintenance again. I don't care what nobody say. Eating at your calorie maintenance is a trap, because you may end up burning too much calories every day from your busy lifestyle, and then the next thing you know, you're looking hollow. You're still lean, but you look hollow. Who wants to be hollow and lean? No. So I'm always going to eat 100 or 200 above my calorie maintenance. That way I don't get hollow. So if I know 160 for me gives me a small waist because my breast is taking up some of the weight, that means I'm not eating 160. I'm eating 1,800 calories. That way I don't get hollow. Hi, Antonella. Antonella in here. Yeah, cardio. People don't think that endomorph body type people burn calories fast. We burn calories fast when we lift weights. So when you're doing cardio, you're just adding extra. When you do a lot of cardio, you're just adding extra calorie deficit. See what I'm saying? So the thing is okay, if you're a big-breasted woman, this is how you know when you got more endomorph. If you put weight on your thighs really fast, as a woman, and you put weight on your breasts really fast, and your shoulders may be a little wide, a little bit wider than your hips, or really wide. I'll give you a good example of an endomorph, mostly endomorph body type, Queen Latifah. I've actually had people say, you got a body type like Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah is literally still an inverted triangle. She's a partial inverted, meaning her shoulders are just a little bit wider than her hips, hip length. Okay? So depending on what she wear, you will think she's an hourglass, but she's not. Okay? But she trains in a way that puts weight on her butt and her thighs with her endomorph to keep balance between her hips, the top of her body, and the bottom. She tries to keep the balance there. That's why she never lets herself get really skinny. No one has ever seen Queen Latifah really skinny, because she knows that it will throw her balance off, or her body will look unbalanced. Have you ever seen her in a movie, Bringing Down the House? The movie Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin. She was actually at her most healthiest endomorph body weight, which is why her waist was smaller than her hip length, and her breasts looked more protruding because of her flatter belly. She made the mistake of getting a breast reduction, and what happened now, her body doesn't look balanced. Okay, it doesn't look really balanced at that weight. Alright, so now she kind of looks like, it looks like she got a breast reduction, like she was striving for more of a mesomorph body type. And it threw her balance off, because her shoulders are still a little wide. But and when she was in the movie Bringing Down the House, that was like the perfect weight for her height and body type. That was when she was also still a cover girl. Hi, everybody. Okay, so you can be a peer. That is mostly a mesomorph endomorph. My daughter is a pure endomorph. Okay. So, meaning her shoulders are a little bit wide, but she has a rounder shape to her bottom part of her body. Okay. So with my daughter, she actually does more cardio than I do. Okay. But she does have to do some weight training because she's endomorph. So basically, her breast is like semi-big. Her breast is like, my daughter's like a C cup. It doesn't matter what weight I'm at, I'm always a C cup. So I'm always at least a C cup. So the bigger I get, the bigger my breasts get. Her breasts pretty much stay the same size. It's like stays at size C. But her shoulders is still a little bit wider, so it's like, yeah, it's endomorph. Endomorphs are Olympic builders, like bodybuilders, more normally wider at the top. Their arms can put on weight fast in their thighs. Okay? So, like my daughter, she could put on weight in her arms real fast. She's been training, and she found that out. She had to actually cut back lifting weights with her arms because they were gaining real quick. So she cut back to 2 days a week instead of 4 days a week. But she's more of a pear shape at the bottom, more rounder. And she has more of an apple bottom. I have a teardrop butt. Most endomorph women have teardrop booties. Okay, where the booty is bigger underneath the butt. The butt is fatter at the bottom. The pear-shaped women are normally fatter at the top. They gain more in their hips and the top of their butt. There's a lady that has a video on YouTube. It's called The Booty Babble. It talks about how you can find your body shape as a woman based on also your body type based upon how your booty grows. So like my daughter, my sister, she is a She's a mesomorph apple build. Okay, all her weight literally goes only to her butt and her thighs and her stomach. She's apple mesomorph. Her arms stay super lean. Her breast doesn't get really big. Um, and her shoulders are narrow. So, and we have the same mom and dad, which is interesting. We have the same biological parents, but we got totally different body types. I always find that interesting. People often think we're not sisters because we're the complete opposite. She's light skinned, I'm brown skinned. She has green eyes, I have brown eyes. She has brown hair, I have black hair. She's apple bottom meso, I'm endomorph meso, a little bit more of a diamond shape. So it's totally different. So we have to have different diets. She has to cut back on chicken. I have to eat more chicken. She has to cut back her protein. I have to increase my protein. She has to do more cardio. I have to do more weightlifting. So it's it's different. Yeah, yeah. Meso endo. Yeah, I'm trying to build more muscle, but I tend to weight train. Yeah. Meso, more people find it hard to put on muscle. They, it's because their meso keep making them do cardio. Like it's like the meso say cardio, 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 and then they say I can't put on no muscle. The thing is, you have to cut back on the cardio. That's how you're going to put on muscle as a meso. Endomorph, we don't have no problem with putting on gaining weight. It's what we eat. Okay. Once we clean up our diet, the gains is on. Okay, for people that's mostly endomorph. I'm almost all endomorph. I'm literally endomorph practically down to my knees. When I was younger, I knew that I had a body type that most women didn't have. I knew this. And I remember telling my mom, I would do really well as a bodybuilder. And I remember my mom did not disagree. She did not disagree. And I loved to do sprinting. I was like a speed runner. I loved to hit when I was young. I always used to try to run as fast as I could. And I never could understand why that felt so good to me. But it's because I'm endomorph. I can feel my engine getting real hot. I can feel like, almost like I could actually feel like my body's like in some sort of building phase after I do hit. Yeah, it is. If you are mesomorph, you're probably better off walking incline steps, hills. My daughter is a hill walker. She's mesomorph at the bottom. If she doesn't walk hills, she doesn't really get many gains in her legs. She's like struggle. I could get gains just walking up and down my steps every day. I don't even walk no hills, and I don't walk no hills, y'all. But if you saw my legs, you'd be like, damn, Miss V, the hell you doing? I have people literally be like, damn, you got some thick legs. They be saying that like some solid looking legs. But I do not walk hills. I'm not in here doing squats every day. I do squats maybe 2 days a week, couple of minutes, that's it. But if I walk steps like just 2-3 days, if I walk a mini hill 3 days a week, my legs is getting thick. So it's different for everybody, you know? Yeah. It's hard being a double body type. It's hard because you have to customize your workout then. You can't just use any workout that somebody gives you. So if you want to be able to tell what body type you are, you have to look at where your body struggled to get gains. So for me, I struggle to get gains in my booty. You don't see too many real big butt bodybuilders. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. So I would need, at the top of my booty. at the top. If you look at a lot of bodybuilders, their butt starts to get thicker in the middle and at the bottom. Okay, so I have to do donkey kicks to trigger my body to put the muscle at the top as well. Like Beyonce. Beyonce is an endomorph mesomorph. She's a mesomorph at the top and she's mostly endomorph in the middle. That's why she could put on weight and gains real fast in her thighs. When she had those babies, she got thick as hell, quick in her thighs and in her glutes still. So she really didn't need that BBL. She just didn't realize how fast she could put on gains like that. But she has a machine she uses where she does donkey kicks. It's a strap. They strap her legs to these weights and she just kicks backwards. And that's how she was able to force her booty to get the weight at the top. But originally Beyonce has a teardrop booty genetically. Okay? Yeah. So if you are a woman and like you're endomorph at the top, you probably don't need a whole lot of weight workout because you're going to put on weight really fast in your breasts and your arms. What you need to look at is where your mesomorph type area is at. So you can either cut back the cardio with your legs and just do weight training to get gains, or you can up your calorie intake and do weight training and keep the amount of cardio you're doing. So it's all up to you. Like I said, for me, most of my mesomorph is from the knees down. Okay, that's where it's at, and that's where it's at for me. So I try whenever I go to the gym, I do the machines where you get your calves. I always do the calves, and I do the underarms, because if I don't do the underarms as an endomorph, I'll gain weight fast in my arms. But the problem will be if I don't train, it'll just be flat. It'll just be fat. So each body type got its struggles. The endomorph is you can put on weight fast, but if you don't train, you just get fat. You just get fat. So, if you're mesomorph, you're like, okay, I can lose the weight fast, but I'm struggling to keep muscle on. Like this is, I don't want to look like a skinny, hollow person. And then ectomorph is like, I don't want to walk around just bones. This is ridiculous. So. If you're endomorph, mesomorph, you have to cut back your cardio. Eat maybe 100 over your calorie maintenance and weight train. But if you're endomorph, you can pretty much increase your cardio a little bit and do more weight training and lower your fat. Endomorph people need to eat a low-fat diet, and there's no way around it. It's just no way around it. When you're ectomorph and mesomorph, you can eat a high-fat diet. If you ever look at Dr. Eric Berg, that man is literally meso-ectomorph. So he has a boy build where it's like straight up and down. So he eats a high-fat diet. That works for him. That's not working for an endomorph. Yeah. My butt will get beefy, but my problem is it doesn't get beefy at the top because of my narrowness, because of me being a little bit of an inverted triangle. My body narrows there. So in the middle, along my spine at the top of my butt, it's hard to maintain beef there. So for me, I have to eat a high vegetable diet and salmon in order to get that beef at the top of my butt. I have to take maca root. There's people that say, well, the African women, some of them are inverted triangles, they have bigger butts, but they're also eating macaroon. See, they're eating vegetables that literally puts weight on you. Weight with your female hormones. They're eating female hormonal veggies. They're on a very high estrogen diet. If you're an endomorph woman, like all the way down to your knees, you need to make sure that you have the estrogen vegetables and fish. You need the food of fertility. Also, when people or women are endomorph, they tend to struggle with childbirth as well. So you need to try to put some weight on at your hips and all that to strengthen your pelvic power. For example, when I was a really skinny endomorph, because I was just running on sugar, I remember like my when I got pregnant, it was like hard to carry the baby. I stayed dilated a lot, like both of my pregnancies. But then as soon as I like gained weight and I went up to like 180 while I was pregnant, all of a sudden it was like, this is easier. You know, I put on like a more solid fat jack body as an endomorph woman. All of a sudden I was able to carry my baby full term, and I was also able to deliver my baby. So yeah. If I'm gonna give you a warning, I'm gonna give y'all a warning. If you're endomorph at the top of your body, like from the waist up, you like your a lot of your energy has to come from fruit. If you try to get it from carbs and you eat a high fat diet, you're gonna end up getting some bad blood work with your liver. It happens. Everybody I know that's endomorph gets the same damn blood result. Oh, my liver enzymes is high. My doctor put me on the DASH diet. Low fat diet. It's the same story. Okay? And I say we all getting the same. Every time I talk to another endomorph, they get the same damn blood work problem. The doctor tells them the same damn thing. So I decided, I said, I'm going to go ahead and listen to it. So I lowered my carbs. And if I have a day that I cheat and I eat high fat and high carbs, I feel like pure tea crap. My daughter is partial endomorph, and she says when she eats high fat, a lot of fat, that it puts her straight to sleep. And she also was starting to have gallbladder problems. She was eating what did she say she was eating that was making her, I forget what it was. Oh, she was eating Chick-fil-A, you know, the fatty fried chicken at Chick-fil-A. And she was eating pork chops at night, and she said she felt doped up. So she can eat her fat in the morning, but she can't eat a high fat diet in the afternoon and the evening. So she had to stop. Like, but when you're like mostly all endomorph, you can't mess with it at all. Like, it doesn't matter what time of day. If I wake up and I be like, yeah, I'm gonna eat me a buttery muffin, I'm gonna be straight up fatigued, sluggish, and run into the bathroom. So key code, yeah. The secret, I figured it out. The secret to looking your best is in your body type. You have to train for it. Each part of your body needs a specific training according to the body type that it falls in. And it needs a certain diet as well. Now, there's a diet that either or body type will still benefit from. It's just the type of food in that diet is what you'll have to eat. So, for example, if you're a mesomorph, You would probably need to eat big game fish. You would probably, because you're trying to put on a little bit more muscle, get a little muscle in there. So you probably have to eat salmon and big protein game food. But if you are an endomorph, you need some small game in your diet. You're already big game. So, like tuna, sardines as one of your meals, and then one of your other meals could be like a big game meal. I stick with the medium game since endomorph is already big game. Most of the time, endomorph people have actually more muscle than they know they have. It's inside the fat that they got. They can't see it. They're fat jacked. So they don't really need big game food. So I find it eating middle game is best for me, like haddock. Haddock is like middle game. Pollock is like middle game. Mackerel can be kind of like middle game food. And whiting can semi be middle game. Cod is still big game, and salmon is still big game. I will only mess with cod and salmon if I had a hard workout day, because when you are endomorph, you have to be careful eating extra protein. It's like overworking your liver. That's what the doctor told me. She said, you're eating too much protein, too many carbs, and you're eating a little bit too much sugar, and you need to lower your fat. I was like, phew. And I said, so what am I supposed to do? She said, DASH diet. No more than 2-3 servings of carbs a day. I was like, wow, that's like 300 calories. So she said the DASH diet will work best for you. Up your fruit and your vegetables. And she said eggs. Let eggs be like your go-to food. And so I stocked up on some eggs recently, and I feel like when I eat 3 eggs in the morning with 1 slice of cheese, I feel energy. Like, it's like, okay, this is what I needed. But yeah, so she was saying that. So I got pineapple juice. I just went ahead and got high energy food. And that's what she was basically trying to say. Because of my body type, I'm burning through energy so fast that I'm just staying hungry. So I have to find a way to keep my energy up without eating excess calories. Oh, you're very welcome. We have to share our stories so people will know. One of these days, too, I'm going to just stand there in a bikini so y'all can see. Because it's we don't see Queen Latifah in bikinis too often. But she's a bona fide 90% endomorph woman. Okay? She probably doesn't do that because people would probably be shocked to see how thick she really is. How thick she is. And people love to discriminate. People love to discriminate against endomorph women. And they got to understand, people got to understand that when we get into the history of Greek mythology and history books, there was women that they called Amazon women. There was always thick women. There was thick empresses. There was thick African endomorph women. It's just American Europeans and Americanized people of color are not realizing that an endomorph woman in Africa will be considered a treasure. Okay? If an endomorph woman like Queen Latifah, solid and thick and looking strong, and was in Africa, she would be very desirable. Very desirable. I'm not saying that black men don't like it too, or white men don't like it too, but I'm just saying that there's in a lot of cultures, even in India, to be a thick endomorph woman is actually considered desirable. So don't hate yourself. I know some of y'all may feel like, I feel so uncomfortable being endomorph. because I'm standing around all these ectomorph women that's like going all day without food and staying skinny. They're running on sunflower seeds and potatoes all day and not hungry. But that's just their body type, and there's not much you can do but work with your own. My mother was a full endomorph body type, but my dad was a mesomorph. See what I'm saying? So my dad was a medium skinny, always medium mesomorph body type. He walked everywhere. He did a lot of cardio. He never actually worked out. He just was cardio all the time. But my mother, she liked to walk hills, and she liked to dance, and she actually was 60 years old and was climbing steps every day to get to her apartment. And she never complained about climbing steps every day. But she looked like she was doing some training. She was solid thick. My mother died like a solid thick woman. People would say about my mom, they would say, your mom is thoroughbred. Guys would be like, damn, your mom is fine as hell. She thoroughbred. Because my mom was built exactly like Queen Latifah. Breast, butt, and everything. With just a little bit more butt, because my mother was always walking steps a lot. She was a step and hill walker a lot. So she was able to get more gains at the top of her butt. Queen Latifah would be able to do that too, where she would get a butt where she could sit a table on if she did the training that Beyonce was doing. Where she would look like she could sit a book on her butt. She would have just had to do the training that Beyonce did. But yeah, that's what I gotta tell y'all. If you try to get a body type weight that doesn't go with your body type, people will find you unattractive. You'll be like, I'm skinny. I don't understand why things ain't improving with the attention out here. But it's because it doesn't go with your body frame. See what I'm saying? Like Wendy Williams, okay? Wendy Williams would look better if she actually gained weight. But because she insists on being ridiculously skinny, and when she got that breast work done, it just threw the whole balance is completely off. So she would benefit from actually getting thick. Somebody said, Coach V, this is information is gold. Oh, thank you, Kiko. Yeah. There's people that talk about body types on YouTube, but they don't ever talk about being a hybrid, like more than one body type. There's people who aren't because both of their parents genetically was like one body type. And I'm gonna be honest, often when you have parents that come from different parts of the world genetically, you often will get, or different parts of a certain country, you often will get two parents that got a different body type. And then you'll end up having more than one body type. So for example, my dad has a different blood type as my mom. He also has a different body type than my mom. You see what I'm saying? So basically, my mom's blood type would be her blood type. It would be more like F Kemet. Okay, would be like more Kemet. A the side where King Tut Egyptians were at. The ones that had the big, was full figure. Big breast, fertility goddess type of energy. My mother's people could have been from there originally. Now my dad was probably from more from the other side, which would have been the lighter side of Egypt, which would have been where some of the Irish people might have migrated to, where his ancestors probably was related to Asian people and East India. So the Arabs, okay, that might have been in Egypt, the Arab Egyptians would have been his people, and they would have been more mesomorph. When I think about how they both look in their blood type and their body shapes, if we're going back to like ancient Egypt time, you know, so when we're getting, but however, my mother took her blood type from her dad. So, um, my mother still got a little bit of her grandmother blood type and more a little bit of her grandmother's genetics, which is why the bottom of my mother's legs tend to be much leaner, because my grandmother was a mesomorph ectomorph. See what I'm saying? So like my mother has a very small percentage of most of the genetics of her mother. My mother actually took almost completely after her father only, with the exception of maybe her mouth, her nose. Everything else is her father's. The body, everything. My grandmother has a totally different body than my mother. So it has her biological mother. So what I'm saying is you can also look at your parents, find out where they came from, and then find out what their ancestors did to train and eat, and just do the same. So I was talking on this channel earlier about some about certain blood types having have come from the islands like Morocco. Like my dad's side of the family most likely was in Morocco or somewhere near around the eastern border, that connects Africa, Asia, and North America. So my dad's ancestors were somewhere there. So I would have to eat still their diet. What would be, I would have to eat the fish that would be, if I recall, in the Pacific Ocean. So I find that when I eat fish from the Pacific Ocean, I can feel that it's like really fulfilling. So I would have to look at the fish that they were eating in the ocean along the eastern border between North America, Asia, and Morocco and all. That border there, where they were actually trading rice and petroleum jelly and certain fruits they were trading with the Asians and trading with, and that's where some of the slave trade happened. Some of the African Americans that was there was actually kidnapped during the trading of the food. I know that's wild, but it was supposed to be legal trading, but some of them was kidnapped and forced into slavery. But there was food that was abundant on that border that some of our genetics was eating. So for me, it would be definitely pineapples. It was definitely, there had to have been haddock. It had to be, because I know how haddock makes me feel. And cranberries. And then when I went to go look it up, I saw they said cranberries was a common trade where the African Americans, the people of color that was indigenous, was trading cranberries with the Asians and other tribes there. So cranberries is really important for energy and youthfulness and looking young, anti-aging. So my mother ate cranberries every single day. That was her. She swore by that cranberries was keeping her young. She swore by it. And she died without wrinkles, crow's feet. She didn't get no cellulite, nothing. So she might have been on to something there. Yeah, see? Yeah. So you may want to look, and you need to look up their, you have to map their migration. You got to find out their blood type. If you eat for your blood, you literally will start to look good. Like that's like automatic. you'll look much better quickly. Like just 1 week eating for your blood, you'll notice an improvement in your health. But if you don't know your parents' blood type, you're not going to know yours. So you have to find out before they die. If you still have parents, you need to find out their blood type. I was so happy that I just asked my mom one day. I just asked, and when my dad was dying, I asked, and they told me. The doctor, the nurses told me. And then when I went to when I was in the hospital and she was taking my blood, I said I confirmed it, and I asked her. And then I went and mapped. I looked on the map how my blood type got to America, and originally my blood type was not in America. Originally, my dad's blood type is not American. You can actually track the migration of your blood type to America, to America. That's why when people say every black person was already here in America, no, that's not true. Not everybody's parents were indigenous to America. Some of them were indigenous to other places and were captured during the food trading. They was free and just trading, and they was taken and stolen like 12 Years a Slave. You know, like the movie 12 Years a Slave. Yeah. Yeah, my blood type is also ancient Egyptian. My dad's blood type is definitely Egyptian. My mother's would be too, because King Tut's blood type was A. Was A with the RH factor. They finally figured it out, and that's my mother's blood type. I was looking at because the new technology now is able to tell what the blood type was of some of the oldest mummies, and they said they believe King Tut's side of Egypt was that he was of color, and his father was A with the RH factor. But they also found blood type B positive on parts of Egypt, which was my dad's. So I have two of the rarest blood types in the world in my genetics. My entire blood essence is two of the most rarest blood type in the world. My grandmother had the rarest of all. So technically I have all three rare blood types. In my blood system, I have all three, the top three most rare, which is why my blood is so nutritionist, meaning it's so adaptable. My blood can adapt to different weather, like cold. I could be in a cold and I can feel my blood like adapting to it. It can adapt to extreme heat and extreme cold. I've had people say, how are you walking around outside with no coat on, cold as it is? I say, my body adapts to it. But as I was saying, I often get like blood banks because they could get your blood type when they test you. They will like say, can you please donate? They be offering me all kind of stuff like tickets to pirate games and stuff to donate. They said that one bag of my blood saves 5 lives, because that's how rare it is, not just the actual blood type, but the whole thing of the blood is rare, because I guess the 3 different type of blood types still being present in my blood, the 3 rarest. So I said, wow. They said 5 people have to share 1 bag of my blood. It's that rare now. Due to COVID, due to what happened with the pandemic, now my blood type is 1%. It's that rare. It's extra rare now. That's why they were trying to get people to donate my blood type. During the pandemic, they had commercials telling people to donate my blood type. They actually had people where I grew up at, where I was born and raised at, they had blood trucks there, like, please come in and donate, because they were hoping to find my blood type. I told them, I said, I would love to donate. I know it would save 5 lives, but with my situation, with my uterus, I'm not trying to drop dead in here after I gave blood and I don't have no blood for myself. So I'm not. I might sacrifice my life. I might put my life at risk trying to save someone else's. And it's not that I think my life is more important, but I have a child. So I told the lady I can't give her no bag because I called myself when I was younger, uh, giving a bag. I gave a bag, and I called myself putting a bag away from myself. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put a bag away from myself, and went to go donate blood. And I almost couldn't walk out of there. I was hurting so bad that I just sat at the table and started to cry. And they were like, have some spinach, eat some food. I said, no, this is not a spinach situation. I have to call my doctor. So my doctor was like, don't donate again. I said, I was giving away a bag and putting the bag for myself and damn near died coming out of there. So my body was hurting for like 2 weeks straight. It felt like I had the flu. And I said, I ain't never doing that again. So I never did it again. But you can track, like I said, you can track your ideal diet for your body type according to your blood type. I told y'all I have a book. It's called The Blood Type Guide. Let me show y'all. See? I'm going to let y'all look at this. This book right here. And I literally, most of the times I just go. And I just find, like, you know, what I could eat of that specific food. So, like, see here? The seafood. Look what's on here. Cucumbers for blood type B. Now, what if I told y'all that most of the African Americans in America is blood type B? But guess what? Cucumbers is important for hair growth. Cucumbers is a superfood for growing your hair, for vitamin B. And the doctor told me that vitamin B is a common deficiency in black people, African Americans. Now, this is why a lot of our hair don't grow as fast. It's nothing to do with being black. It has to do with our blood type. We're not eating for our blood. Okay? I decided to eat cucumbers. This was like 2 years ago. I was eating cucumbers in here like it was going out of style. And I was drinking peppermint tea. Like, all through my day. And my hair literally grew like Mufasa. My hair was growing so fast that the managers at the hair salon was like, Dad, your hair growing fast. What are you doing? And I was like, only thing I'm doing is eating cucumbers and zucchini all day. I was snacking on cucumbers 3-4 times a day and zucchini. And I was drinking peppermint tea 3 times a day. Now, what if I told you on this list here that I just showed y'all, peppermint and cucumbers is an important food for blood type B. See what I'm saying? And most African Americans in America has B in their blood type. A, B, or B. Now, I have a sibling who's AB. And she started eating for her blood type and she lost all the belly fat. But if you look on your blood type, you will notice that there's certain things that you can't eat that other blood types can eat. If you look on blood type B and blood type A, okay, blood type B and blood type A, you'll notice that it's a low-fat diet. See what I'm saying? See how it says olive, but it's not olive oil. See? You can't eat olive oil, but you can have olives. It's trying to keep you from eating a lot of fatty foods. These are neutral here. These are neutral. Lamb is like real powerful for me. but it's really hard. I grew up on lamb, rabbit, and salmon. My dad made rabbit. My mother made lamb and salmon. And my dad made a bunch of different kind of fish. My stepdad was Hispanic, so we got to eat a variety of fish. He would go to Mexico. He would go fishing a lot. Yeah. I'm surprised to see peanut butter on here. Oh, it says, yeah, okay, foods to avoid. Look what's on here. Peanut butter. Peanut butter is one of the reasons why I started to gain weight. That's why I left it alone. And it says, don't eat it. What does it say for seeds? Let's see here, y'all. I want to see seeds because I need to. These are what's to avoid. Herbal teas here. Neutral. These are neutral. Neutral foods is eggs. Rice. Rice really works for me. And bananas and cranberries. See? Bananas and cranberries. Green tea. I have 2 cups of green tea every morning. See, I bought me some. I bought me some quick tea here. I call it quick tea. I ain't got to put it in the bag, whatever, in a tea strainer. Okay. I'm trying to. There's haddock. I told y'all, look what's on there. Anabolic. Where's Pollock? I wonder why Pollock's not on here. Grouper, man, that's a good fish. Like my endomorph body type, love that grouper. Sometimes I go to the fish market and they have grouper, live grouper that you can pick from. Salmon is on there. Halibut. My mother was endomorph and she ate halibut, cod, and haddock. So here's the breakfast options. Look what's on the list. Eggs. See? I love scrambled eggs, and it's right on the list. Look, y'all. Scrambled eggs. Bingo. And I was going to put some mushrooms in it, too. And it says add mushrooms. It said coffee. Yep, I knew it. That's why I started drinking decaf coffee. It's on the list. It's on the list. Coffee or green tea. Grapefruit juice, man. I could lose weight with grapefruit juice. Like I could just fire on that and be like, I'm good. Like I won't even want no food. That's how strong grapefruit juice is for me. How beneficial. I used to drink grapefruit and citrus wine when I was like 150 pounds. Like I was a little slimmer endomorph. That's what I would drink. I would drink champagne that had grapefruit and citrus in it. I'm gonna order me some grapefruit today. I'm just showing this so y'all could, see. A lot of people who have blood type A and B in their blood type, they're normally they got some endomorph in them. I'm noticing a pattern with that, and that's why I showed the A, B, and the B. Hi everybody. So I'm having this is what I sip on through my day. See this? This is an old cup, y'all. That's not no dirt in here. It's just old. I can't part with it. I'm attached to this cup. It has coffee stains in it, but I won't let this cup go. I had vegetable fruit juice. I drink that between meals. You know, like our ancestors, how they would like eat berries and snack on spinach between meals. That's what I do, but I do it with a juice. So if you're endomorph, you might want to get you some vegetable V8 juice and just, you know, like when you get a little hungry between meals, have you a cup. I try to have vegetable fruit juice before every meal. And then I notice that when I do go to eat, I don't eat a lot of food. Hi everybody. Okay, I'm gonna get ready to go. I will leave this video up for y'all to watch and replay. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can donate to my Cash App at money sign Coach V Hunter, or at my PayPal. Thank you for the donations. Once again, here's the book that I got sitting on my table. I follow this book and I follow this book. Where's the other book? I follow Super Carb Diet. Now, endomorph people can have carbs, but we have to really be careful of grainy carbs. Okay, like eating too much oatmeal or eating too many potatoes. We have to try to get our carbs that it's like the super carb diet, the energy carbs like carrots, like Marilyn Monroe would have. Okay. When I lost the first 40 pounds, I was following this book. So I decided to stick with this book. With picking the foods and then making sure they match my blood type. See? So the foods that he recommends, the good fats. See the good fats? Almond butter, avocado, flaxseed. See, on my diet, on my blood type, I'm not allowed olive oil, so I have to take that off. I'm not allowed pumpkin seeds either. So I'm going to go through the book and, you know, just put an X next to a few things that I'm not allowed to have based upon my blood type. And then whatever's left on the list, I can just go ahead and choose. Here's some of the super carbs here. So we're looking. Super carbs. Carrots should be on the list. Where they at? There they go. All right, kale. Kale's pretty good. It's super expensive. Now it is. Zucchini. Told y'all when I lost the first 40 pounds of my weight, I was firing on zucchini and cucumbers. What do you do when you want to cheat? That's what it say. So this book is by Bob Harper, you know, the biggest loser. You know that show, The Biggest Loser? He was the host of that. Those people that was on that show was mostly endomorph people who did not know what I'm telling y'all. So they was just getting fatter and fatter and fatter really, really fast. Okay? So he was teaching them how to get the best out of their body type. That's why he had some of them doing ridiculously weight training. You know, a lot of weight training going on. And making sure they got their cardio. Like, if you're endomorph, you can't skip your cardio. You just don't need to be doing a lot of cardio. Because the weight without cardio is not good on your ankles and your bones and your knees. Also, you're trying to put on muscle. So you don't want to do too much cardio. So I try to walk a little hill. I don't walk like really big hills. I walk little hills, and then I will walk my 2-3 miles, and I try to not skip weightlifting. Like, I feel like when you're endomorph, like, do not skip your weight training. I noticed that my body started to go downhill when I started procrastinating with that. When I would say, oh, I'm not training this week, and I kept doing that for like 3 months, I became just a chubby, chunky, endomorph girl. Like, I didn't have no sculpture to my body. I was just, fat. And it was like, I wasn't even fat Jack anymore. So it was like, nah, I realize now, like, if you're endomorph, don't skip on that weight training. Like, even if you gotta just, like, do 5 minutes, just get something in several days a week. And if you're mesomorph, you need to cut way back on the cardio. If you're ectomorph, mesomorph, you need to cut way back on that cardio, or you're like never going to really get any gains. You're not even going to be able to put on weight to get gains. You're going to just stay skinny. You're going to stay skinny. You're not even going to be able to get fat jack like endomorph, like us endomorph people can get. Yeah. Like, endomorph people, we be like, yeah, we can get gains, but if we don't work out, then we're fat. We're fat. I don't have a problem with gaining. I don't have to force me to eat extra food. I like to eat. This body loves food. The problem is procrastinating with the weight training and not going for my 2-mile walk. What I started doing as an endomorph person is standing a lot. So when I'm doing YouTube videos, I walk around the kitchen while I'm talking to force me to get some steps in. Force my chunky butt to get some steps in. And then the thing about being an endomorph body type, it takes a minute for you to get your engine going. So when you have that window where you're high energy, you cannot waste it. Like when it's between like 8:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. and you're endomorph, you need to get your weight training in, your HIIT in. Like, just make sure you get it in there. Because if you try to do it at like lunchtime, you're going to be like, I'm going to go ahead and lay down, because the energy gets so heavy at that time and you're endomorph, you feel like you don't even feel interested in working out at that time. So I find for endomorph people, it's like your workout better be done by 10 a.m. Or it's like, okay, you might start to go down again. And then you gotta it takes a while for you to get your energy up, to really get it going, real high energy like ectomorphs. But once it's going, like you're unstoppable, like Optimus Prime. So, once you get that energy going and you're working out, like in your endomorph, like milk it for all it's worth. You gotta make sure your workouts are not interrupted. Because when you're endomorph and your workouts are interrupted and you go to sit down and talk on your phone, you'll notice that you'll be like, no, I'm done with my workout, even though you're not done. Okay? Once you get that fire going, with you being like a diesel, like a truck driver, it's like, I got this going. Let me just go ahead and get this done. All right, y'all. I'm going to see y'all later. For endomorph people, HIIT. When you're struggling, like, I need energy, I need to get this energy up. I don't want to eat extra food just to get energy up. HIIT is like your go-to. Like, just force yourself to do a 30-second HIIT. And once that energy is up, then you can jump right into weight training. Okay? Like, don't wait a long time while your body is hot from the HIIT. You'll feel the heat in your head. That's how you know that the HIIT worked. Then you jump right into the weight training. Like, endomorph people need a multi type of training. We have to mix it up. So it's like, walk, speed up the pace that you walk, speed up the pace that you walk, speed up the pace when you walk. And then once you get it going, as an endomorph person, it's like, the trick is to keep it, because you're not ectomorph. Ectomorph people are constantly like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You, it's like once I'm down for a while. So, but once you're up, that's when you make it all work. So it's like you got your energy up, got your energy up, got your energy up. You're starting to walk faster on your walk. You're walking a little faster on your walk. You're walking a little faster. It's not necessarily how long you go with endomorph. It's literally that you're speeding up sometime, okay? Because you need that human growth hormone boost that your body is lacking in because you're not ectomorph. Okay? The ectomorphs, believe it or not, and the mesomorphs especially, they have high human growth hormone. The problem is they're way too active, so it's hard for them to keep gains. But when you're endomorph, you most likely probably have still a high amount of fat cells as well. So you still have more fat cells than ectomorph people. You can make that fat, you can use that fat as fuel. So once you're going, you're telling your body, use the fat as fuel. As you're going faster, your body's going to like I need fuel. Where do I get fuel at? It's going to go for the fat on you, and you have enough. So once you get all heated up, you don't stop and be like, woo, I did this power walk, I got all fast. No, you stop for maybe about a couple seconds, and then you leap into lifting weights. And then when you're done with that, even when you're lifting weights, you have to go fast sometime. You have to go fast. Okay, you're trying to make your body burn more fat as an endomorph and put more muscle on. So you're like, fast. Human growth hormone, fast sometime. Fast as I can. Okay. And then that's why you don't need to use heavy weights. If you're endomorph, you don't need heavy weights to get gains. You actually need to increase your human growth hormone. Okay, that's like the cheat sheet for getting gains as fast as you can get it as an endomorph. Okay, so you're going to pause and then you're going to jump to the next thing and jump to the next thing. Back in my early 30s, when I was ripped, that's how I was doing it. I would like go fast, sometime walk, and then go fast. I would do that all the way home. And then I would rest a couple minutes or so, music and start dancing. And then I would rest maybe a couple seconds or so, and then I would like do some calisthenics. And that was my workout, like 3 days a week. And then on Fridays as a cool down day for the workout, I would go and do water aerobics or something like that. But I noticed that when I started jumping from each one with just a brief break, my body was improving faster. When I stopped doing that, I noticed that I was staying more fat jacked longer than I wanted to be, that I needed to be. I was like staying fat jacked for like 4 months when I could have been super fit within 3 months. Had I kept using the while the fire was going, I was leaping from one thing to another. And it won't give you burnout because you're taking a little brief break in between each leap to a different workout. Like I noticed that people be saying scheduled workout like cardio day, weightlifting day. For endomorph, you actually have to do all of them in one session. It's better for you. Okay, it's more abundant for you. But if you don't want to do all of them in 1 hour, one hour window or 1 hour and a half window, then you could do it the way everybody tell you, where today is cardio day and tomorrow is gym day. You could do it that way. But I personally like to do it all back to back with brief break in between each. All right, bye everybody. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to let me know. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.